What is up? What is up? It is another day, Wednesday to be exact. So, a lot of things have been going on in my life, but that's besides the point. Um, what I do want to talk about is something that I've seen today. Actually, I've been seeing a lot, but last night something told me to go ahead and make a video about this. There's been this thing called black fatigue that has been making its rounds around the internet, and it's been the topic of a lot of conversation. And there's two sides to look at what this word actually means. Fidgeting a lot, but there's two sides of what this word actually means. But I'm just talk about the side that I'm interested in, and the side that strikes my interest the most. When it comes to black fatigue, what it is fellow people, fairly highly melanated people who share the same genetic makeup as me, and people that look like me, have hair like me, they are tired of the way a very small subculture of people that look like me have been exhibiting. Basically, black people is tired of niggas, simply put. And it goes deep with starting from victimhood, blaming whitey, ratchetness, and trashiness. And a lot of black people feel the same that I do. It's done. I'm tired of it. Other people are tired of it, and it's a dead end street. Going down this path is a dead end street. And the problem is there's a lot of young people who seem to glamorize this particular type of culture. Now, the unfortunate part is that there's been a merging of black culture and trash culture, and everybody automatically assumes that black culture is this trash culture because it's highly represented and it's everywhere you look. Whether you turn on social media, you turn on the TV, there's something happening that shows black folks exhibiting themselves, or niggas exhibiting themselves, in a fashion that is deemed horrible. It's detrimental to everyone that's exposed to it. It's everyone that's part of it. And we're just sick and tired of it. I'll give an example. So the other day, I seen the news feed. It was an older story, but there was this lady. She was black, and her son decided to break into someone's home. I'm not sure where this happened. Probably happened in the Midwest or one of them Carolinas over there in that area. But her son broke into somebody's house. The homeowner woke up and shot the intruder. So when this all broke out, the police arrived to the scene, did the story, and ended up contacting the mom and said, like, hey, your son's been murdered, and while committing this crime of robbery, she got mad, not at her son for trying to break into somebody's house. She got mad at the homeowner for shooting and killing her son because according to her, the homeowner had an unfair advantage because her son was unarmed when he broke into the house. So she got mad at the city and at the cops and at the homeowner for not taking it serious, that her son wasn't given a chance, wasn't given a fair chance. That was her words. Wasn't given a fair chance. In all of that, there's a culmination of victim mentality, unaccountability or non-accountability, and just plain ignorance. Nobody would approach a a potential burglar in their home and say, "Hey, get out of my house. I would shoot you, but you don't have a gun. But you need to leave immediately." Nowhere in America is that going to happen anytime soon, especially with the atmosphere that we're living in now. Like that just doesn't make any sense. It's unfortunate that he's dead, but like they always say, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, and you don't go and breaking into people's homes. There's consequences behind every action, and there's no way that you can try to justify that at all. I say that to come back to the original topic of black fatigue and how it is definitely pushing us back further and further than we ever been. I had a conversation with my grandmother, and we were talking about racism. She grew up in the 40s and in Louisiana, in Texas, and all that. And I had asked her a long time ago, I was like, "Hey, Grandma, did you experience any racism growing up?" She took a quick second, thought about it. She said, "No, I didn't experience any racism." And I was like, "What? Like, seriously? Like, you grew up in the South? Like, you tell me you didn't experience racism at all?" She was like, "No." I was like, "Well, why was that?" She was like, were you shut in? Like, did you stay in the house?" She's like, "No, I went out and everything." The biggest thing was that when she left the house and she wanted to go to the market or wherever she went, she left the house and all her neighbors were black. She went to the market and the market owner, the store owner, was black, and all the customers in there that were black. She go to the doctor was black. The dentist was black. Everybody in her neighborhood was black, so she didn't get to experience racism, because everybody looked like her. It is with this, for lack of better words, assimilation that people have gotten so accustomed to. Like, that's not what we need. We're basically piggybacking. We're basically piggybacking off of other people, and they're still begging for more. Like, there were programs that were set in place by the government to help black people that were there intentionally because there was systemic racism. Like, there's no doubt about that. Redlining and being declined certain privileges just because of the color of your skin. But there were programs put in place to counteract that. This was in the 60s. This was 60 years ago. My problem is that you have people that are, my age, younger, or some even older than a little bit older than me, that still pretend, or not even pretend, they still desperately cling on to the idea that if they're being held back, it's because whitey is holding them back. There's 17-year-olds that are saying this, and I hear the high school kids saying it, like, it's the white people's fault that we're doing this and doing that. Like, there comes a time where self-accountability, plays a part in the way your life is headed, the way your future is directed. And you can't blame anybody except yourself based on, how you react to your surroundings. What you're doing is wrong. Everybody's born with the inherent trait of knowing the difference between right and wrong. It's just there's a group of people who just don't acknowledge it because they think that their feelings come first. They think that they are above everybody else because they have been oppressed. Like, nobody's oppressing you except yourself. If you want to look at the person who's responsible for the way your life is headed, go find a mirror and stare at it for 30 minutes, because that person is going to govern the way that you live your life. So if you can't take accountability, if you can't realize your mistakes, if you don't acknowledge right and wrong, you are going to keep yourself in this perpetual cycle. Oh yeah, and blaming other people for your shit. You're going to end up in this perpetual cycle of being a victim, and you will not go forward. You will remain stagnant. You will stay in the same place that you have been, and it's a generational thing. You can't say that people are holding you back when there's not one thing that black people haven't done yet. Literally not one thing. I'm not going to rule out the possibility of there being racists out there, because they are. There are definitely people who want to keep you down. But are you going to let them? Or are you going to circumvent that? Well, people used to say that, this is controversial, but I think I'll say it anyway. So there's a lot of people who believe that, who like desperately believe or cling to the idea that, the police are racist. I don't believe that. There might be racist cops, but the police force as a whole, they're not racist. The unfortunate fact about it is they have a certain criteria when it comes to the people who they consistently find guns and drugs, people that are committing crime. There's a criteria that people that look like me seem to fit. And more often than not, if there's 4 black people in the car and they get pulled over, one of them probably has a warrant, one of them probably has a gun, one of them probably has drugs. And if that wasn't the case, there would be a lot of us that wouldn't be in jail. But unfortunately, that's the case. And there's been plenty of times where I've been in the car and I know he has a gun, he has drugs, he just got out of jail, he has a warrant, like it happens all the time. So you got to understand that a police officer's job is to be prejudiced in a way. Otherwise, you're being oblivious, because you have to be able to make certain determinations based on what's going on. If you see somebody walking down the street with a hoodie on and a mask and their hands in their pocket, what's the first thing you're going to think? You have to profile them. We profile each other consciously and subconsciously. It's going to happen. But what are you going to do about it? Are you going to make yourself look like the people that they that they look for? Like, no. First thing, pull your pants up. Don't look like what they're looking for. Nipsey Hussle said it the best. He was talking about being a gangbanger and going to other people's hood and looking for people that look just like him. It's the same shit. Police officers are looking for this specific archetype of nigga, and they 9 times out of 10 you take them into custody, or you question them or sequester them, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be something that comes back like, oh, I got to take you to jail. Anyway, that was a rant, but yeah, I'm tired of the victimhood shit, and I'm tired of the lack of accountability. And it's not just men, it's women too. It's both of us. So unless we come to a consensus and decide to work together, it's just gonna continue. It's just gonna continue. There's more to go into the story. Maybe I'll make another video, but that's just a brief synopsis on black fatigue and what some of us are feeling like. We're just tired of the victimhood shit and not being able to pull yourself up and continuously blaming other people for the shit that you do, or the reasons why you're not in the position that you want to be in. It's your own actions. Fix your actions, your life will change. That's all.